Yellow.
Oh,
This
Charles.
is Dave. That is
Papa Davey,
Benjamin.
Rat laughing.
And Chaz, for some reason, hasn't come down yet.
Is he even in here?
Yes, he's upstairs sitting on the couch.
Probably watching something and got too invested in it.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
Go
Okay, I probably should get some glass cleaner. I think I have a hair on these.
Oh, yeah, you need to get some glass cleaner on those.
Guys.
Yeah, of course I have. Here we go. The glass cleaning cloth comes out. And now you may wipe your glasses off with it. And today we are going to be talking about Michael, who is the brother of James Blackcloud, who's a vampire. And not really blood brothers, not by birth, just kind of like adopted in sort of thing. Okay, so what are we talking about with Michael?
Michael also has an interesting...
He has some problems because he was a
Special
Forces soldier, veteran.
Stationed in the Middle East.
Right.
Who by itself was already a very tense war zone.
Well, yeah, it was. And he suffers from his time in country, from PTSD, and
some friends of his died, along with his biological father.
Why was his biological father over there?
Werewolves have their own ideals.
I forgot he's a werewolf.
Keep in mind, Dad, relationships with these supernatural creatures are not like humans.
I didn't say that.
They often mimic that of other animals.
Yeah, but when do wolves hang out with bats?
The fact that's not uncommon.
What do you mean not uncommon?
Media, for vampires and werewolves to team up.
Yes, to team up sometimes, but there's generally a large animosity between the two because each one can kill the other.
Keep in mind, and werewolves and vampires in my world have a similar relationship. They like Scar the hyenas.
Mm.
Yes. If you're curious which one's Scar vampires.
What?
The vampires are Scar. Are the hyenas or the werewolves?
What do you mean hyenas are the...
No, like in The Lion King. And those dads are a point of reference.
But that doesn't make any sense. That does not.
Simple. Vampires help werewolves get meat.
No.
Werewolves
help
vampires conquer things.
Werewolves help the vampires take down people, and because they were normal people during the daytime, they would be the caretakers for the vampires when they're at rest.
Yeah. And in my adaptation, like some adaptations of werewolves, he can choose when to transform between wolf and human.
Well, yeah, an old enough werewolf, legendarily speaking, supposedly, or according to certain mythos, were able
it's not hard to teach
after
each others.
After a few years, they would be able to control their mutations.
Yeah. This is the course of thousands of generations.
But they still have to change. They have no choice but to change when the full moon hits.
So is that like every 3 days or so?
No. That's like every 30 days. Once every 30 days or so. 28 to 30 days, something like that.
Oh.
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I don't really get this whole moon cycle either.
Yeah. So it's whenever that happens, they change. They have to. And it's probably something dealing with the moon's gravitational pull on the Earth.
Which begs the question, Dad, and how does that exactly work?
Well, how the moon works? It's rotation around the Earth.
And if I recall, it rotates around the entire Earth in 1 year.
No, it rotates around the entire Earth in, like, I don't know, it doesn't take that long for it to rotate around the Earth. I don't know how many days it takes in total, but it's only a matter of days. It's not like years or anything else like that.
I just remember talking about that ad in they think back in middle school, I think.
Well,
And it
the
discusses how the
Earth
Earth,
rotates around the
how
sun
the things like
in
the
a
moon was
year,
made.
but the moon rotates around the Earth, but doesn't take it that long. And it's necessary. Its gravitational pull against the Earth pulls the tides up and
I'm
back.
gonna just go on with an idea that the werewolves mainly serve vampires. Vampires help them.
Well,
Help them out.
it's
It's like a
it's
like
a
a weird.
symbiotic relationship in some cases, but there have been some mythos where, like in the oh shoot, what series do I have over there? That's
And my glasses look. I think they're foggy. It's because I've
you
been
might
outside.
need some. Oh no, you need some more clean. You need some cleaner on those.
That's a spray bottle.
I don't. We don't. Don't worry about it. We don't have any right now. We'll have to get some. Okay. Or you can run them under water and then use the cloth.
Oh.
But there's one series that the werewolves were used as slaves by the vampires and then rebelled, and then there was a big long werewolf vampire war.
Mm-hmm.
And the wow, why can't I remember the name of that series? It's a good series. But anyway,
I have a feeling you just read too much stuff like this that
no, it's a
lost in
movie
your head.
series.
Oh,
It was a movie series.
remaining that you watch and read too much stuff like this is actually
No, I
pay
don't.
attention to every
I do
single
like
detail.
werewolf and vampire movies. That is true.
I know. Oh, it's that you've watched too much that you've got confused with other series in your brain.
Maybe I do. But anyway, there's lots of different mythologies about werewolves and vampires. But most
and
of
the modern day have brought up clans of werewolves and vampires.
yes, modern day ones say that there are clans of it, which in many cases makes sense.
Yeah.
That there would be clans because they get together for their own mutual protection.
Yeah.
But there's also nothing wrong with vampires and werewolves having their own unified clan. I think that would be something that would be
that
interesting
is
to
actually a
explore.
thing.
Yeah. And so, but either way.
Let's get to the point.
Yes.
I mean, Michael, who, as I may have mentioned earlier, is somewhat based off of my own older brother, Michael, and your son.
Yes.
Who, if I remember, when we were younger, all the cousins were smaller, and so was I. He was nicknamed Big Michael because he was the tallest.
Well, no, he was Big Michael because he was the oldest Michael. We had your Uncle Will.
Oh, yeah, and Michael Angel.
Michael. Yeah, Michael Angel.
Yeah, everyone just calls him Michael Angel so much.
I know, your Uncle Will hates that. But hey, that's how we call him.
It does help Michael is the name of the Archangel.
Not the way your Uncle Will spells it.
But how does he spell it?
Not the way that we spell it with our Michael. It's just different.
Well, Michael's a very important and valuable name because it means the first.
Yes.
As it represents he's the firstborn
Right.
son.
Right. And your character here, though, is someone that has to be institutionalized because of his lycanthropy and his PTSD and depression, and he breaks down and can kill people by accident. Well, not by accident, but because he's just insane.
He's not technically that insane. And
But
keep in mind,
to be
he's
kept
been
locked up for the most part.
Yeah, most of the 5 inpatients and the doctor getting mutilated was mostly an accident, as those said patients were of Muslim origin and attacked Michael first.
Oh, I see. He saw them as enemies from his time in the Middle East. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
But
the
that's still
doctor was trying to, for most of a month, for
but when you have a
James
superpowered
gathered
creature like that, and they know that he's super powered because it's James that comes and has him locked up all the time.
James mostly is doing this.
He had to make arrangements with them so that it didn't get reported to the police or anything else, and then pay off the families that were involved so that they don't sue or go to the police either.
Yeah.
And make up some rational explanation as to how these people died accidentally in an animal
But on
attack.
the point, point being made, if the doctor tried, and James did warn them that Michael has a tense hatred and fear of needles. Needles, even as a young boy, it took.
That doesn't make any sense because going into the military, you have to take shots tons of times.
Yeah, I know.
Especially before you deploy over to the Middle East. You get shots before you go on deployment. They give you all of your immunization shots again, which is awful.
Yeah, that just made. Yeah, Will pointed out that his dad I'm working on a name for him. I'm thinking Skull Fenrir. It's a.
No, I don't like that.
Skull is the name of one of the sons to the actual Fenrir's wolf. Remember, there's Skull and Hockey.
Yeah, but that's way too long ago. I don't think that'll work. Personally.
Okay,
we can talk about it more later.
William.
William, I guess. Willie.
Yeah, Willie. Willie Fenrir held him down himself to get Michael to take those shots.
Mm.
That only just made the fear worse.
No, because you wouldn't be allowed in. If somebody had to hold you down so you could take shots, you wouldn't be allowed.
It's a fiction.
It doesn't matter. You wouldn't be allowed into military service.
Oh, wait. Okay, let me try this again.
If you're
his father.
Well, no, you would be allowed in, but you would more likely faint over getting shots. Nobody would have to hold you down. You'd just faint. But I could see if he's already having a panic attack or an episode.
And the doctor tried to get that shot into him from behind his back.
Yeah.
That caused him to think he was being attacked from behind.
Yeah. And that would cause a bad problem. Yeah, that would cause a bad problem.
Yeah.
But still, he has to develop methods or whatever to control himself because he can't be out.
Mainly through specialized medicine. Since that James has made perfectly clear to the doctors his needles are just going to make his problems worse. There's to just use pills, those intrudable medications.
Drinkable stuff.
Yeah.
Which they do have in many forms for different things.
Yeah. In flavors he's actually quite fond of. Like
they don't make them nice tasting. You just down them.
Oh, no, that's just...
Because they're in little itty-bitty cups. You just down them.
Remaining.
And now if you're taking pills, whatever soda or whatever you got that helps it, it's good.
Well, back to the point.
Yes.
The flavoring thing isn't important. It's just meant, and so I just figured I'd add that in to show that he's more willing to try it with some convincing.
Well, yeah, pretty much anybody who suffers from things like that doesn't want to suffer from it. They will take their medications and things that they have need of so that they can.
And does tend to act more normal around his brothers than godparents.
Well, if he feels safer around them, then yes, he would.
Yeah.
He would act a little bit better. But still, that doesn't prevent an episode of coming on if something is, critical enough, because some people who suffer from PTSD kind of phase out sometimes because the memories.
In his 5 years, he received linked to 5 incidents involving massive deaths as of enemy soldiers.
No, because they just put him down. In 5 combat engagements that resulted in a lot of blood and horror.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Most of it was him doing special recons to save soldiers that were injured or to see if any were alive.
That's fine.
From battlefields. Sometimes he brings them back.
If you
Other times they're killed.
even if they're dead, you have to bring the body back if
Yeah,
you
I know.
can, because if you're the spouse or child of someone who is killed in combat, the government is not quick to pay out benefits until they have verifiable evidence that that person was killed. So they want the body back.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Otherwise,
And actually makes sense.
otherwise, you could be cut off from income and everything for up to 7 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, until the person is declared dead because nobody can find the body. And nobody's seen him alive or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mess. When it comes down to it, it is a solid nightmare and mess.
Yeah. Anyway, my inset 5 years. You're curious, it's not in straight 5 years.
Why not?
It's just, I was meant to point out, now that was there, that he's been there for 5 years, and has been through quite the horoscope. By the time he's finished, he's 23, and has seen in hell itself.
Okay.
Of course, like I mentioned earlier, the last S2 to 3 of them were quite at the bloodshed.
Yeah.
As it didn't just end in the battlefield, it went to the base.
Most combats are going through cities and urban areas.
Oh no, that's how bad his episodes was starting to get. As there was large amount of damage.
Yeah, okay.
And the scariest part is he usually walks away with barely a bullet wound.
Most people do. Just because you're in a combat engagement doesn't mean you get shot.
The fact...
A lot of people have gone through combat and never gotten shot.
And point out the fact that he's basically faced giant armies. And in a giant episode, he somehow makes it through like he's one of those super soldier guys. From those movies. In the TV shows everyone's so fond of watching. Then like James Bond on a John Wick. And how it looks like they should be critically injured, but next scene they're usually fine.
Okay.
Or in other TV shows and such, they were either you're shot or blown up, and in the next scene, they're usually in a room reading a newspaper or something.
That's not always how it goes, but okay.
Yeah. I'll be there to point that out because that's sometimes how it goes.
It's just in the movies.
Yeah.
And also, movies can't account for the lapse of time.
Yeah, I know.
Because they can't. Because, like, John Wick doesn't go from New York to Germany.
One of the weirdest parts,
in one day.
The original trilogy is spanned only 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Baba Yaga is invincible.
Well, they make it look like he is.
He's still just the man.
It was cool movies, though.
That's something people do tend.
We're not talking about John Wick or anything. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just pointing some stuff out. He uses a tomahawk. And sometimes he has a bowie knife too.
Why? Why would you use a tomahawk?
What?
Why would you use a tomahawk?
No, on a tomahawk. Those small Indian axes.
Yeah, I know. Why would he use one?
I thought it was a cool idea for him to use one.
Why?
It's a very, very dangerous weapon. been in melee combat.
But
Combat.
all right,
And it's
when you're
good
going,
for throwing.
oh yeah, but even in special ops, you're trying to get in and out without being seen if possible.
He has a thing. Back in Special Forces, he had a thing he covered it with it before he got the thing out.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I think it was
You're
more like a
not gonna-
backup weapon.
Okay, I could see it as a backup maybe if they let him have it, but it's not something that you normally carry as.
He also would use a Bowie
soldier.
knife.
Yeah, that's still not something.
It's still fiction, Dad.
Yeah.
Just let me be creative.
Okay.
You're curious. Here's Bowie knife. I was like in some of his PTSD reduced craziness.
Yeah, but he
Yes.
doesn't have that at
It's
the
hack and
hospital.
slash. Yeah, I know. Oh, he's still a werewolf. Oh, he still has razor sharp claws.
Yeah.
And he's only been there for like 6 months. And so you can't expect a miracle to happen.
Okay. All right. Do we have enough
Been to
on
reduce
this right
5
now?
year I figure we could go a little more in a Fenrir tree. He contains 5 older brothers.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Michael has 5 older brothers?
Yes, his father they had these with different women.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
He's a werewolf.
So what?
So keep in mind, animalistic
He's
nature is still there.
human. When you're in your human form, you're
Werewolves
not
also
and werewolves
tend to
are
live a lot
intelligent. Yeah, but they're intelligent beings.
Yeah, that you pay attention still would have aspects of animalistic actions and behaviors in them.
No,
Dad.
they would control that after a time. They'd be able to control that just fine.
Okay,
It doesn't mean you're going from chick to chick to chick. That just doesn't make sense.
keep in mind,
Because especially in a wolf pack, wolves don't even go from chick to chick to chick. Okay?
it's over the pace. He's in fact that he's more or less finding a new mate. When each mate dies.
Why would they die? Weren't
As
they
for-
werewolves too?
Some
Some
maybe.
were and some weren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other times there are other things like divorce and such.
Okay. But why does he have these 5 brothers?
Well, he meets them later on in life when he
Okay.
joins the forces.
Okay. All right. But do we have enough for tonight? Because we do need to do some other things.
Okay. Another thing is he uses an AK shotgun.
Yes, you were
That
telling
was
me
assigned to
about
him in his time. They
that.
even let
No, that if he's part of our military, U.S. military, AKs are not allowed.
why?
We'd just give him a regular shotgun if we wanted him to have a shotgun.
It has a multiple magazine usage.
Yeah, we have stuff like that, and we just use a regular shotgun.
I still think it's cool.
Well, it is cool, but that would be something he would have picked up as a personal weapon later on, not in the military.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
A regular shotgun
And so
he
we
would
took
have
it after
used if he was to
After his
use
old
one.
shotgun got busted.
But most likely he would have used an M16 if he was out in the field. That's standard issue. Or they might have given him a saw as part of special forces.
What's a saw?
A saw is the replacement for the M60 because M60s are so much bigger. They're a machine gun type thing. The saw is much smaller, lighter, and a very powerful weapon. It'd be something like a P90.
Okay. On the point when he may just pick the thing up on one of his missions after his old gun broke.
No. You can pick one up if somebody else is using it, or had been using it. They no longer have need of it.
Yeah, he took it off a dead soldier he killed.
Yeah, and that
So
could be
his
something.
other
But
one.
it would be something he'd have to have smuggled
blew
back
up.
to the States because we don't like our soldiers to take souvenirs.
Fun little detail. James was the one to buy it from said people to get it here.
No, he would have been the one to help smuggle it out. He would not have been buying it, but he would have paid for it to be smuggled out.
More or less. Less is what happened.
Okay.
Ben, think of it as legally smuggling something.
No, it's not legal.
I said the legally thing about it.
It's not illegal at all. But getting it here through proper channels, because there could have been politicians and like that involved that could have done it.
That's what he did.
Okay. All right. Well, let's stop for tonight because there are many things that I need to do. Love you.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching.
And if you're curious on another thing,
yes,
Mike's really into muscle cars, which is why I always imagine wearing
tank tops.
It's a white tank top with a coat over it, zip up.
Okay.
Sweatpants, all with the design of a racer aesthetic to it, a race car.
Okay, cool.
All right, guy looks like he's in a pit crew.